Hi everybody, greetings to you all. Perhaps you've seen my first and introduction video of this new series of video blogs that I'm going to do with the title being sensitive and having chronic pain, and as a subtitle is from surviving to coping, from living to thriving, and using your challenge to become your greatest self. My name is Sylvia Mikitsa Fransen, and you can also find me on my website with poetry and short stories in 3 languages, Serbian, Dutch, and English, and that is www.sylviamikitsa.com. You can also find one poem video here on my YouTube channel, and it is called When in Doubt, and you can find it here, so check it out. So I want to use today for a short and sweet video and just two topics which I find important to address quite soon here in this video series, and use the second video for that, and that is just to mention the ailments or problems I'm dealing with right now myself, just to show my perspective now upon entering these video series. So how do I stand in it, and what am I dealing with it currently? So what have I dealt with for these 7 years? And this is just a list that I am going to mention here so that you have an idea of what I'm dealing with every day. Although you might not see it on me, but this is what I'm dealing with, and this is what is happening with me on a physical and emotional level. So another thing I want to mention, I find it important to do it already in this early stage of the video series, is that this topic is kind of big, and it can also be very negative. And what I want to say, and I find this very important, is that this is not my message. I do not want it to be negative, and when I say negative, I mean I want it to be empowering for you. If you feel, and only you can decide that, what is empowering to you, because the way I see it is something is either empowering or disempowering. But I will elaborate on that just after I mention the perspective that I currently have, and this is actually a list of problems that I deal with right now. So to start off with, that is temporomandibular joint disorder and chronic earaches with that, and I've been dealing with this since 2007, and this is a problem of my jaw joint on the left side. Then I have migraines, and these migraines are with so-called hallucinations, mostly olfactory hallucinations, which affects the smell, which also means that I can smell things that are not even there, and I can smell things from a very far distance. And I also hallucinate as a means of almost like tripping. So this is a fascinating thing, although it might sound very funny, it is actually not a pleasure to go through it. So what to say about that? Anyway, I also have multiple chemical sensitivity. I deal with this daily, and I have something that I have dealt with, and currently I also feel the effects of it still. My concussion was 5 years ago, and the first 2-3 years I have had post-concussion syndrome, and then I also still deal with the effects of a post-traumatic stress disorder after I had 6 new accidents with my head after my concussion. It's a weird thing to go through, to have so many accidents with your head. At a certain moment I felt like I had a magnet in my skull which would pull me either to the ground or to the wall. I have what I would call chronic dizziness. I am dizzy most of the time when I get up, and this is not due to anemia, because I have had many blood tests and it all comes back good. So mostly my dizziness is caused by problems in my ears, my balance, and by the jaw, which also affect the shoulders, the neck, tension going up and tension going down from it, and tension of the muscles. Then to go further is trigeminal neuralgia, and I deal with it almost daily. I have classical trigeminal neuralgia, which is the fifth cranial nerve, which has the form of a fork and like more like, or actually I wouldn't say, it's more a trident. I think that's what it would be called. And one of the three sides goes to the crane, the second one to the cheek, and the third one to the jaw. I also have atypical facial pain, which differs from the classical trigeminal neuralgia. Is the classical one I mostly have to deal with in cold weather, and then getting cold water in your mouth, brushing your teeth. This is mostly when it affects me. Then combing your hair is also when it affects me, and this pain is horrific. And the atypical facial pain is more of a claw that feels like it is on your face or on your skull and it is trying to crush it. Then I have gastric asthma, chronic fatigue syndrome, chronic pain syndrome, also fibromyalgia, cold often. And the fibromyalgia is what I currently is actually the thing I deal with the most, but this is so big that it is about my whole body, and it's a topic in itself to speak about. It's yeah, quite big. So fibromyalgia, then chronic fatigue, and then when I speak about chronic fatigue, it's to the point of exhaustion. Not always, but especially in winter and autumn, and rain affects me very badly. Affects my joints, my muscles and connective tissue very badly. And what else have I not mentioned? Irritable bowel syndrome, and I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's a long list and a lot of things to deal with, and I don't deal with all of them at the same time, but I think I deal with most of them all the time. I do not have migraines all the time, knock on wood, and I do not have a gastric asthma all the time. Sometimes the trigeminal neuralgia needs to be triggered. Hopefully you have that under control. But sometimes you do have everything at the same time, and you feel like a artist, like a how would you call that? Someone who does tricks on a like a ballet dancer on a rope, having to keep balls in the air, or that's how it feels. So many things at the same time are being thrown at you. Yes, and I can continue with what I also wanted to say in this video, and continued from this is what I said, that this all sounds very negative, because how do you live further with this? How now? What to do now? Okay, I have this, and what do I do now? It can be a very negative topic in itself, and this is not what I want to do with these videos, with the video series. And I think it also shows in the title, because what my subtitle is from surviving to coping, from living to thriving, and using your challenge to become your greatest self. What I really want to say is that when you have chronic pain, then most of you who have also lived with chronic pain or know someone who lives with chronic pain knows that most of the time you will want to research what you have. Read everything you can read, and ask questions to anyone who might know about these things. Talk with other people who have chronic pain. And I think there's what I really want to underline is that the information that you gather can either be empowering or disempowering, and only you know how that feels to you. It is your unique path, so only you know what is empowering to you or what is disempowering. First thing is that it doesn't mean, by the way, that if you're going to research it and the information is quite negative, because reading about fibromyalgia is often just very negative because it is about being exhausted, it is about having pain in your entire body, it's about pain in your connective tissue, it's about doctors not understanding you, it's about people not believing you, it's about yourself having problems with your self-worth and self-esteem because you think, am I so sensitive to pain? Am I a drama queen? Am I exaggerating this? Then the fact that this is not understood and that you hear so much conflicting information, that in itself to me is very negative. And when I say that, then I say to me that works disempowering. What is empowering to me is if I feel okay, it is what it is. That is like a magical phrase. It is what it is. Okay, we know now this is what I'm dealing with. I can't help the physical way, but I can help how I deal with it now. And what is the solution? That feels empowering to me. And that can bring on the transformation that I will speak about in this video series. Another example of disempowering is something that I have dealt with myself, and that is reading and researching trigeminal neuralgia, TN. An example is, and I think this is, I like examples, metaphors, visualizations, because it's immediately clear to you what I mean, is that when you research trigeminal neuralgia on the internet, like you type it in, you are linked to Wikipedia, and you just check it out. You don't know much about this disease yet. You've been diagnosed with it by a neurologist. You are given very heavy medication that you decide not to take because the list of side effects, which by the way I would not call side effects, it's more the effects because that is what the medication does. It hardly treats symptoms and it will not heal you, which is my perspective, and if these drugs help you, then by all means that is your path, and then you have to do that. My path is my own, and my experience is that I have decided not to take them. And so what you do is you research what this really is, and you are linked to a page, Wikipedia, and one of the first things you read is that trigeminal neuralgia is also called the suicide disease. Okay, so I'm reading this and I think, alright, I'm dealing with this right now, daily, sometimes monthly, it depends. And this is just horrific. It's called the suicide disease. Alright, I do not have to read more about it. I understand why it's called that way because I am dealing with it and I've had some awful pain from this. And I understand why it's called that way. But I have chosen not to read about it anymore, because in no way has this reading and researching about it been empowering to me. Because just reading about it, when I say reading about fibromyalgia can be a negative thing, but what I really mean is it's not about the negativity, it's about the excessive negativity to me. Maybe you feel that same way. When I say excessive negativity, for me that is disempowering. And in the end, I would call reading information about that, for me, would be a limited hangout. On the other hand, if I would read about trigeminal neuralgia on a page and it says me that I can do certain things myself naturally to help my trigeminal neuralgia. Can I do something mentally? Can I meditate on it? Can I take natural remedies for this? Is there another solution? Is there an ancient Ayurvedic solution for this. So all of this is just to say that when I come to the point of solution, this information is empowering. However, if it keeps me in a dark place, it is excessively negative, and I feel, oh my god, this is making it hopeless for me. This is loss of control. I don't know what to do. I'm just reading it, and it feels like drama, drama, drama. I already know that I have it. I am already dealing with it. I do not need something to bring me even more down than that. So this is my message then for today's video, is that what I wish to do is to empower you through these videos. I can do that in my way, the way I think what is empowering to me. That might not be empowering to you. So another thing is, this is self-love. It is an act of self-love to know for yourself, I choose and see that this is disempowering to me because, no, it's not negative, because there's nothing wrong with that. The chronic pain in itself can be and often is very negative. But if for me, this particular information is excessively negative, and I choose to stay away from that, or I choose not to read it every day, I choose not to go on this particular forum every day, because on this forum, people with chronic pain speak about their experiences, which can be very empowering to me because I can share my own stories and hear, oh, okay, I'm not the only one who has this. Alright, other people suffer with this as well. How do they cope? But if this is a forum where people just share and exchange their experiences and everyone is in such a negative cycle, which by the way I understand, I have been there myself and sometimes I fall back into it. That is life. You overcome something, you fall back, you have to overcome it the next moment again. But once you've done it, and once you've learned some techniques, next time it becomes easier, depending on what you're going through. It's a purification of yourself. So again, it's either empowering to you or disempowering. And once you become aware of that and you're conscious of it, in a way you step away from being the victim. You still have that pain, yes, you're still going through it, but things can change from there. And this is an act of self-love. And self-love, like I've said in the first introductory video, that is something that I'm going to speak about in a video and only about that. Self-acceptance, self-esteem, self-worth, self-love. Big topic. So hopefully my videos are going to be very empowering to you, and only you can know that, because you will feel it if you resonate with it or not. So this is what I want to say for this video, and keep it short and sweet. And I hope to see you next time, and sending you much love and peace. So till next time.